and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am crafting with this stamp set from Newton's Nook Designs. This one is called Captivated Kittens and it's really adorable. There are some pretty darn cute little kitties here, and I did color up a few because I wasn't exactly sure which one I wanted to work with, but in the end I chose, I think probably my favorite one. Well, it's a toss-up. They're all really cute, but I like this one in particular because it's got the beautiful flower and the bee, and so I'm going to start off with some mats and layers here, and I was originally thinking that I would try to create a card that sort of showed a more loose interpretation of the April monthly sketch challenge that the Artful Angel Shop is running currently. And you'll see that it quickly sort of gets out of hand. If I remember to, when I do the editing for this video, I'll try to pop up an image of the sketch, but the clouds here are, I mean, you can really use any cloud shapes. I thought these were perfect, and so I stamped one of the many awesome sentiments that does come in this stamp set right into one of the cloud forms, and I'll start to layer up or build up my card. So I've got this grassy hill here, which roughly follows, one of the diagonal layers of the sketch. It's just mirrored, but more or less follows it. And if you saw the video where I made the card with the walrus, that's one where I did follow the sketch a little bit more precisely, except that I flipped it and mirrored it because of the composition of the way that my walrus was facing. So I was going for that same composition and thinking that I would use the rainbow here as sort of the diagonal stripe, and so I thought, okay, this is kind of going somewhere that vaguely could be taken for the same look and feel of the sketch. And the reason why I wanted to do this was because of how I normally use sketches, which is just as a jumping off point for how to compose a card. And I don't, unless I'm trying to follow an actual sketch challenge, I don't usually follow sketches to the T, even though I do prefer sketches that have all of the dimensions on them, because if I wanted to follow it to a T, then I like having the sketch so that I can, but most of the time I kind of just wing it. And I think when I start adding these cloud forms here is when things start to become a little bit less recognizable as being part of the sketch, the original sketch. But I think, for me anyways, that's the value that a card sketch can give you. It's a nice sort of boost to your creative juices, and if you're stuck for ideas, it's maybe a good starting point, and then maybe your creativity kicks in at some point, and then you just run with it. And that's what I found started to happen with this card here. And then I decided when I was looking at this that bottom portion felt a little bit sort of out of balance with the rest of the card. And so then I added, you'll see it in a bit, but I added another sort of layer of grass. And then I think that sort of deviates it even more from the card sketch. But these clouds I'm just popping up on some low profile foam. It's only 1 millimeter thick, and I'm being sure to kind of run my foam right off the edge of the card. I feel like it looks a little bit more natural that way. And this cat, I had a hard time figuring out what the quote unquote correct orientation of it would be, because I felt that I didn't know if the cat is supposed to be sitting or if I should orient this so that the plant is straight up and down. And ultimately I went with the plant being straight up and down. And because the grass layer is popped up on some foam, I just added some 3D glue gel to the top portion of that die cut. So I didn't have to worry about cutting foam to have that match in terms of the thickness and the level of the cat. I wanted everything to be as flush as possible or as level as possible. So that's just another way of using your 3D foam or your 3D glue gel, is just to, if you are trying to kind of match the level of something else that's on your card, you can just squirt out a little blob and then just push it down until it's level. And I think part of the reason why I added this extra grassy layer was, one, just to have a little bit more visual interest in the foreground, and two, I was still a little bit bothered by the angle of the cat's feet and how he appears to be seated. And so because I still was a little bit unsure if I have this oriented correctly, and so that's why I decided I'll just cover it up, and it just adds a little bit more interest. It adds a little bit more dimension and depth to the card as well. And since I'm using thinner foam, even though I've got on this frontmost piece, it's basically two thicknesses of foam away from the card base, it's still a fairly flat card. It'll still go in the mail just fine, because this foam is less than half as thick as my normal foam. So I can double it up and it still looks great. So I hope that you like this card. It kind of strayed from my original intention, but I love how it turned out, and I hope you did too. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!